All of this fits into this. Packing carry-on only is a great way to travel. You don't have to check any bags or wait for them. However, it can feel a little stressful trying to pack everything you need into a carry-on, like what to bring and what to leave behind and how do you keep everything organized. In today's video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how I pack carry-on only, how I get everything organized and keep me organized, and the best practices when taking carry-on only. Airline tickets are booked, hotel is booked, car is booked. All you got to do is pack, right? Seems like such an easy thing to do until you start doing it and then you get overwhelmed. Well, the first thing you want to do is take a look at what is your itinerary and how long you're going to be staying. That's going to give you a really good guideline as to what it is you actually need to pack. The other thing you want to take a look at is the weather. So always the day before I pack, I take a look at the weather because things change in a couple of days, but I always make sure I pack a few things that are going to get me through the weather or at least wear them on the plane. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Epica. Epica is a leader in travel accessories, and this is one of my favorites for international travel. It's their 45-watt pulse adapter, and it works in over 200 countries. This has a smart PI chip, which allows it to understand which items need more power or not, and I love this slim adapter here with a fold-out plug. It also comes with a slide-on adapter that works in Europe and in Asia, so it's very convenient to take on all my travel adventures. You'll find a link in the video description. All right, number one, I need a great set of packing cubes like this. These are by Epica. I've been using these for a while. Many of you have seen me pack with them, and they are wonderful. A nice, sturdy material, as you can see here. Not that really thin material. Great, sturdy zippers, because when you're packing compression, these things take abuse. You're packing a lot into them. And a nice mesh front so that I can see what's in here. I don't have to unzip the packing cube every time I want to see what's in here. I use packing cubes not only in my luggage, but when I get to my destination. If I'm going to keep them in my luggage, great, but sometimes I take them out and I put them in drawers. And a really quick hack for you here is when you are putting these in the drawers, keep them zipped up. They don't have to be compressed like this, but keep them zipped up because sometimes little spiders or stuff will crawl in there. So I dumped out my dirty clothes bag that was hanging in here, and look what I found. Right there. And the next thing you know, you got some kind of bug or something in your pants. So even in my luggage, I had a spider crawling up into my luggage one day, and I kept everything zipped up. I didn't do that once. I learned my lesson. I got bit by a spider that had crawled into an unzipped packing cube, and I learned my lesson. Always zip your packing cubes up. Keep everything nice and clean and tidy in here. So with no further ado, let me show you how I use these packing cubes to pack in my carry-on luggage. Let's get started. The first thing I do is I set my luggage out, and I know some things I'm going to pack, and then I set out my packing cubes. I set them out so I can see the different sizes that I have and see how they're going to fit in with all of this. If I'm going to be taking something like a dress like this, I don't want it all crumpled up into a packing cube necessarily, so I'm going to lay that in first. This is going to give me a nice flat bottom for my top, and then I will layer things in here, and the first thing I'm going to layer in is my large packing cube because what's going to take up a lot of the space, and then I'm going to fold the dress over the top. It's going to give me the least amount of wrinkles. Now I'm going to place in my largest packing cube. It fits in here perfectly. So I'll push that right into all the corners. I had already started layering this in, but you want some of your bulkier items in this packing cube. So I have, you see here, a little fleece and a sweater and a pair of pants and a pair of jeans. And I will put those in first. And then if I have anything else that I may want to layer in there that may be okay and not have a lot of wrinkles, then I will do that as well. So I'm going to bring this denim dress and just layer that in here as well. So that way I have all of my bulkiest layers in here. And then this is ready to zip close. Now on compression cubes, you can go ahead and start compressing them if you like. If you're someone who doesn't pack a lot, you might want to compress them. If you're going to pack a lot, this is going to naturally kind of get compressed. And the reason why I do that is because once I compress this, it tends to want to bulge all up in the middle. And I want this to be as flat as possible because I need this kind of thing to fit over. This is an attachment on this side where I can put some things like underwear, socks, or whatever. And I need it to be able to mold into here. So if this is too hard and rigid, these things are going to stick out. So I'm going to leave this here. Plus, I have to now fold this dress up over in here. And I need this to be as nice as possible to prevent the least amount of wrinkling. This folding over this packing cube is going to allow me to have a softer crease. There won't be this hard pressed crease. And then this part of the dress that already has kind of like this ruffles will be right here in the top, and you won't notice the wrinkles as much. And then I'm going to zip this closed. So now I'm going to start zipping this around, and this will naturally kind of compress everything in here for me, but still leave it soft enough that when I actually push that in here, go to put the other side in, what it's going to do is give me some of the ability to have some give right here. You'll see why when I go to the other side. So all of my dresses, pants, bulkier things are on this side. Now I can put things in here. I tend to only put things that are really, really flat to lay on this side because, again, I have this whole side I've got to get in here, and I want this to compress down. If this is already compressed, it won't conform to the things that are in here. Once a packing cube is compressed, you'll see it's kind of rounded here. It's kind of humped up more, and then the sides come down, and it's very, very, very rigid. And that's great. This is what I would use inside of my personal carry-on. However, when I'm packing a large suitcase, I lose space here. You can see I lose a little bit of space here. So by keeping these uncompressed, if I uncompress this, what it's going to do is allow this to be a lot more fluid. So now I have it in here. Let me uncompress this completely. By uncompressing it, what it allows it to do, as you can see, is keep its nice square shape. I get less wrinkles, and it allows it to be more fluid. So if things have to get packed into the side or pressed in here, it allows me to do that. When it's compressed, it doesn't get to do that. So it really depends on your packing style. If you want to use it uncompressed or compressed. Compressed for me also gives me a lot more wrinkles, so I tend to go with uncompressed, and then as the suitcase closes, it kind of compresses this down as it needs to, depending on if there's shoes or other things in here that allow this to kind of take up and fill in extra space without being rock hard and rigid. So this suitcase has this panel which has some zipper pockets to put things in. They act as a mini packing cube. I can leave it in or take it out depending on how tightly I'm packing my bag. But for right now, I'm going to take it out and show you how I pack this side. I layer my shoes along the sides here. And normally I have them in shoe bags that are stretchy, but just to show you how I lay them out this way. And I just want to make sure that my heels are down here against these wheels and these heels are up here. So as things kind of get shifted and bounced around, these thicker parts of my shoes are kind of down in this where things can get bounced. I like a nice deep packing cube, and I like it to be able to compress when I need it to. So these work great. As you can see, I can put this in like this, or if I really wanted to work it, not pack it too tight, I could get it in like this. And I love the variety of sizes because sometimes you just have like underwear and socks and then bras and tank tops. You just need some smaller ones rather than one larger one. So it kind of depends. If I have a lot more tops that I need to pack, they'll go in here, and then maybe I will put something in like bras, underwears, and socks all up in here and get them packed. So just kind of depends. And then sometimes I'll use a smaller packing cube like this to put into my personal carry-on. This has a trolley in it, and it has a trolley handle in it, but it also has an area in here that if you wanted to put a battery in, I don't use it, but it takes up a little space. But I want to put a few other things in on this side. Number one, I'm going to be putting in this bag right here, which is a stadium bag. And as you can see, it is packed full of things. that help me on my travel adventure, really accessorize my outfits and make them look different. I'm not going to go through everything in this bag today, but if you'd like me to do a video of what I pack in my little stadium bag, let me know in the comments and I'll show you everything that's in here. These really do help extend my outfits for especially a longer travel adventure. I'm going to set that down here at the bottom. And that leaves me all of this room here. Now, I could go to something like this and see if that works, but it even then is a little bit tight. So I'm going to go to this kind of rectangular cube right here and just fit that right in here. This is going to hold all of my tops that go with my pants and things here. So let's start loading this in. First thing I'm going to do is load in a pair of shorts right in here. That'll give me something if it gets a little warm out to have. And then I'm going to start putting in some tops. This sleeveless collared shirt is great because I can wear it by itself or over something. Goes good with these shorts. And then if I wear the jeans or the beige pants, I just think this is such a cute top with the little giraffes. Just a few tops here, a nice white top, and I have a nice colorful top to add a little pop of color to this wardrobe. A nice white top, and then I'm thinking of bringing this sweater vest. What I like about it is the buttons make this great to wear as a single top by itself or to layer over a long sleeve shirt, maybe something like this. They can give me a different look, and all of those go in here. So now I have this in here and I don't compress it. Again, the reason why I'm not compressing it is it's going to compress and round out and puff up here, which doesn't give me the flexibility. If it's out like this, it'll kind of mold in here. This will still keep its shape. But now when I want to add things in like my curling iron and maybe even a whole nother packing cube down here full of bras and underwear and things like even a tripod, if I wanted to put that in here, it gives me a little more flexibility to have things kind of move around in here. So when I close this, I don't have a big hump in the middle. So I think compression cubes have their place. If I am going to put something like this in my personal carry-on, I will definitely compress it because I want it to stay in a certain shape and in a certain way in that. But in here, because I'm packing a bit, I want it to have a little bit of wiggle room. So in here, I'll pack my underwear, bras, and socks. That way I'm ready to go. And all I have to do is seal this up. Right like that. Now, if I wanted to put this in, let's say this was still not as tight as I needed it to be. I didn't have as much in here. I would add this back in. They snap right into place here. And I could put things in here that, you know, it might be something that I don't necessarily need in a packing cube. So I just like the idea that you have this extra thing, or if you're someone who doesn't really use packing cubes, you can use that as this. But I can put a few things in here and be able to get this all packed up. So let's shut this all up. Ready to go. Now, I always pack a few things in my personal carry-on. That's just in case they check my overhead luggage and it happens to get lost, which has happened to me a few times in my life. So I like to pack something like this, which is a cute little dress that will allow me to wear it around my room, to the pool, or even out and about. I always pack a little tank top, so I have a little extra top, a bra, and some underwear and socks, because these things are going to allow me to work with what I'm wearing on the plane and be able to get through a few days if they lose my luggage. And as you can see here, I am putting this in the smallest packing cube that Epica makes. It's going to be a tight squeeze, which is why you need things with really strong zippers and good material, because you are putting these things through a lot of abuse. This is what I want in my personal carry-on item, because there'll be so many other little things in there. I'll be digging around for things. I want this to be down in there, probably at the bottom, so because it's not something I'm going to use on the plane, but I want to have this in my personal carry-on, so if they check my overhead luggage, I have something to get me through a few days by having this little set right here. So now this will go down into my personal item bag down at the bottom, because I really won't need that unless I absolutely have to have it, and it stays nice and compact. If you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to enjoy the video I make on rolling backpacks like this black one you see right here. That's coming up in a few weeks, so make sure you stay tuned and subscribe.